So I wanted to take a few minutes with this video to talk about 4 interesting PlayStation 5 stories, and if you could hit that like button on the video, thank you to those that do it, and as always, it's very much appreciated. Now, the stories I wanted to talk about today includes the PS5 holding 120 FPS better than the Series X, insane loading speed for an upcoming PlayStation 5 title, PSN leak update that brings back a bit of frustration on my end, we'll talk about it, and next week could be a huge week for reveals going from Kojima all the way to Naughty Dog. First, currently, as of right now, what is your game of the year? Mine currently, before finishing any of the December games, is God of War Ragnarok, and it probably won't change from that. The Game Awards are next week, and things should be interesting between God of War and Elden Ring, as those are being put up head to head. But for right now, let's focus on you guys. So comment below, what is your current game of the year? Let me know it down in the comments below. Now, diving into the first story of the video, PSN Store Update leaks a new PlayStation Plus title. Reading from Gematsu, a PlayStation Store page for the PlayStation Portable version of Star Wars Battlefront 2 has appeared. The game is listed as a PSP emulation title, meaning that it will appear as part of the Classics catalog for PlayStation Plus Premium members. So, looking at this and seeing Sony potentially putting more effort into releasing classic titles on PlayStation Plus Premium is great, of course. Hopefully, Ridge Racer and Resistance Retribution are not far off since they were rated earlier this year. This is also part of those weird moments that have me wondering why Sony doesn't provide the PlayStation 2 version of the game, because it's on PlayStation 2 as well. Isn't it weird that Sony seems to be ignoring PlayStation 2 and only releasing PlayStation 1 and PSP games, if any games at all? This will be further tested when we see what versions of Siphon Filter, Logan's Shadow, and Dark Mirror Sony release. Those were rated months ago, and they're also on PlayStation Portable and PlayStation 2. Will Sony release the PSP versions or the PS2 versions? I personally think it'll also be the PSP versions. If you want proof right now, look at the Sly Cooper and Ratchet & Clank collections Sony released in the last few months. Sony didn't even put the effort. This is their first party games. They didn't even put the effort to release those games for their 20th anniversary as PS2 ports on PlayStation 5. They just gave us the PlayStation 3 streaming only versions. If they're not going to do it for their own first party, I wouldn't put hope on anything else. I think new PlayStation 2 ports aren't happening at all, and that's wild to say considering it's a big part of the PlayStation Plus premium subscription and was advertised to be a big part of it as well. I would just expect PlayStation 1 and PlayStation Portable games here and there whenever they decide to put those on there, and maybe some new stream-only PlayStation 3 games. I say maybe because we barely even get those as well. PlayStation 2 games, new PlayStation 2 ports, are not happening anymore. It doesn't seem like it, and that's all I'm getting right now. Now, diving into the second story of the video, insane loading speed. Reading from PlayStation Lifestyle, Square Enix has said that Forspoken PS5 utilizes the console's SSD to allow players to fast travel with loading times under a second. The publisher just held a live stream offering a deep dive into the game, revealing how it crafted Forspoken's story. The development team also touched upon gameplay aspects like parkour and magic spells. So I saw the gameplay of this when it comes to the loading aspect, and it's pretty fast, and I think open world games in general need to be on this speed to make exploring and traversing more seamless. It was great in Miles Morales, even better in Ghost of Tsushima. I'm looking forward to moving past the last generation and having the standard be these new enhancements like this loading speed and not be the special case by case basis situation. This needs to be the standard. But you guys let me know if you're getting Forspoken or not. Let me know down in the comments below. Now, diving into the third story of the video, consistent 120 FPS. Reading from PlayStation Universe, the folks at Digital Foundry have scrutinized Call of Duty Warzone 2 for their latest tech breakdown, and after comparing the frame rate across PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S, and Xbox Series X, Sony's console comes out on top for maintaining a more stable 120 FPS. While both PlayStation 5 and Series X are able to hit the 120 FPS target on a regular basis, Sony's machine is the one that does it more constantly when things get hectic on screen. The Xbox Series S experiences by far the most dips, as you would expect, as it's technically the weaker console of the three. So usually when it comes to situations like this, it's been that the Series X has better resolution, while the PlayStation 5 has better performance. And of course, the PlayStation 5 has better performance because it's not hitting that high resolution that the Series X does, since it's going off maybe the last gen PlayStation 4 Pro version of the game. But in this case, in this scenario, the PlayStation 5 and Series X are hitting the same resolution, but the PlayStation 5 is outpacing it in performance at 120 FPS, specifically because 60 FPS, they're pretty much constant over there. They're the same. But at 120 FPS, the PlayStation 5 is outpacing the Series X in performance, which is, of course, interesting to see. Regardless, with VRR and Warzone 2 hitting above 100 FPS consistently on both PlayStation 5 and Series X, I think most people won't really notice this. And now diving into the final story of the video, next week could have a big reveal. So next week we have the Game Awards happening on December 8th, which is the Thursday. A lot of hype is surrounding the event, which is usually the case every year with the Game Awards. And this time we have a couple of things potentially to look out for. Starting with the first one on this list, Final Fantasy 16. The Game Awards Twitter account tweeted this out recently. Next Thursday, the Game Awards is humbled to welcome Naoki Yoshida, producer of Final Fantasy 16, to the show for a very special live presentation. This is added on top of the rumor going around that Final Fantasy 16 is set to release June 22nd, 2023. We already knew this was a summer 2023 game, but now it looks like we'll be getting an official release date trailer at the Game Awards next week. Next up is Kojima. Kojima has been teasing his new game for a while now, and we thought it'd originally show up at a PlayStation showcase, but we're in December and nothing has happened, so that's out the window, sadly. But that doesn't mean this game can't show up anywhere else. Kojima and Jeff, the creator of the Game Awards, are pretty tight, so that already gave us hope that his next game could probably be at the Game Awards, and it's probably Death Stranding too. But this morning, a bunch of gas was thrown into the rumor mill, with Kojima himself tweeting out a new image that says "Start a new journey," again teasing his new game. And if you look at the replies, you have Jeff Keighley right there responding with a interesting gif, and the Game Awards Twitter account tweeting a red alert emoji under there as well. It seems likely Kojima's next game will get a teaser or something next week at the Game Awards. Moving on, we have Naughty Dog. So this is a lesser possibility, on the lesser possibility side of showing up at the Game Awards, but it's still something that we'll talk about here. Naughty Dog recently changed their profile picture. Their logo now is iced out instead of their original red. It's interesting that they change it up so close to the Game Awards, but it could also just be because, the holidays are around the corner and they iced out their logo and that's why they're doing it. Or the community, the gaming community potentially believes that it could be Naughty Dog teasing their next game. And of course, we have the Game Awards next week. Remember, they're not one studio. They're not a one-team studio. They have multiple teams working on different projects, one of them being Factions 2, their new IP, and of course, they just released The Last of Us Remake. Since we won't get anything from Factions 2 until 2023, it looks like, if anything, it'll be this new IP, this new game that they have. Moving on past those, I'll throw my little hope in there as well with Spiderman 2. This game is set to release next year, and we haven't gotten anything for it since its original reveal back in late 2021. I genuinely hope we get something at the Game Awards. Otherwise, I don't know if this game will actually release next year. Hopefully it does, but you guys let me know if you think we'll see Spider-Man 2 at the Game Awards or not. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button, as it always helps. To subscribe if you're new. I got new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one. And welcome back to the after show. This is the part of the video where we have a little fun down at the comments below. If you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button, as it always helps to subscribe if you're new. I got new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one. And welcome back to the after show. This is the part of the video where we have a little fun down in the comments below. If you're old, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. For today's thing, what I want you guys to do is to body, obliterate, destroy, and overall harass the comment section with Bring On the Reveals. Next week, we have the Game Awards set to have apparently a good chunk of interesting stuff there. So if you're excited for that, destroy the comment section with Bring On the Reveals. And I'll definitely heart those comments like I always do, because I appreciate everybody who stays to the end of my videos. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one.